I get asked all the time about what content should a business be creating for the actual audience, and it amazes me how many times business owners don't actually understand their customers. So today's question is, what kind of content should you be creating for your customers? Hey, welcome to another Mic Drop Monday. This week we're talking all about content. If this is your first time here, welcome. Don't forget to subscribe while you're here. My name is Samantha. You can find me online as Socially Sam, and this is my weekly video that drops every Monday morning. So as I said, we're talking about content because I get asked all the time about content creation, and businesses saying, what content should I create for my business? They often think they need to follow the trends, they think they need to do lives, they need to think they'll be doing all different kinds of things. And actually the biggest thing that most businesses forget is the content is for the consumer. It's not for them, it's for the customer or potential customers. So to actually know what content you should be creating, you need to understand your customer. So I've had a few different conversations over the past week all about content creation, and obviously it's the World Cup, so brands are going, oh, what can I do? And I'm kind of thinking, we're over a week into the tournament now. If you're suddenly thinking about your content for the World Cup, you've missed the boat. However, what I have noticed is a lot of different businesses that are saying to me about the World Cup content, and they're not actually understanding the consumer. So just to give you an example of a few different things, so we're talking about like sportswear and football shirts, retro shirts, that kind of thing. And actually what is their customer interested in? Yes, they're interested in the products that they're selling, but is that going to get their attention online? Probably not, because if you're suddenly posting loads and loads and loads of pictures of your products and how much they are and oh, you can buy it here, that's a sales message and that instantly turns your customer off. However, say for example, if you was a sports shop or outlet or online retailer and you're selling football related merchandise, whether they be shirts, whether they be mugs, toys, whatever. Okay, so essentially your customer is interested in football, they're interested in the World Cup. So if you as a smart brand, you'd have organised months ago for someone who is going out to the World Cup, for someone who's going to be in Russia, to actually be there, boots on the ground, getting content for you. Because what is a football fan interested in? They can watch the goals, they can just turn the BBC or ITV on, they can watch the pundits on there. But what the main TV channels don't give you is what is going on behind the scenes. So if you're a fan sat at home, you want to see what the fans out there are getting up to. So if you as a smart brand, you'd have had a fan out there on the ground getting you footage. Fans at home want to know what it's like to be sat in the middle of the stadium, in the middle of your own fans when you score and the place erupts. That is the kind of footage that your customer as a sports retailer wants to see. They want to see the celebrations after the game. They want to see the build up to the game. They want to see what it's like in the fan zones. That is the type of content that a sports retailer should be putting out. And then the odd chip in there of, by the way, this is what we sell. Also things like, if you were a food or a beverage retailer, if you were a tea bag company, for example, how could you utilise it? Well, it's a half-time cup of tea, isn't it? And you should have all your marketing focused around that half-time cup of tea or a full-time cup of tea, or, somebody gets beat, everything can be solved with a cup of tea. That's the kind of content that your customers are going to relate to. That's what they're actually going to be interested in. That's what's going to get them interested in your brand. If you just start banging on about like the price of your product, no one's going to pay any attention. So is your content relevant to your customer and actually what they want to see? So another great example that I've seen recently is people like who are doing home improvements and home type things, so that'd be window companies, all that kind of stuff, and they just thought that they would attract customers through going, oh, our windows are great, or that kind of content. Actually, no. What are people, if they're buying new windows or doors or carpets or whatever for their house, they're obviously interested in home improvements. So that is the type of content that you put out. And you may say, but how is that going to entice someone to buy from me? Well, it's not straight away, but it's all about nurturing that relationship with your customer to get through to trust factors, and then they're going to buy from you. So when you're creating content, think about, yes, the end game is you want them to come and buy from you, but how are you going to nurture that relationship with your potential customer? You're going to give them content that they enjoy, that they relate to. It might not even be specific to the product that you're trying to sell, but it might be specific to your ideal customer. So if you look at my content, for example, it's all about, it might not even necessarily sometimes be about marketing or social media. Sometimes I throw other business tips in that I've learned along the way, but it's relevant to the people that actually do come and hire me. Now, the thing is, not everyone that consumes your content is going to actually hire you. That doesn't matter. It's all about helping others to get along. But the more relevant, useful, helpful content that you put out, the more trust your next potential customer is going to have in you, and then eventually the more sales you're going to make. Also think about how your potential customer likes to consume their content. So are they readers? So therefore a written blog post is going to be more relevant to them. Do they like video? Are they going to consume video like this? Are they going to enjoy lives? So going back to the football retailer example, if you had like a Facebook Live from pre-match in a bar or in a fan zone, that kind of thing, then yes, the customer is going to love that. But if you're suddenly doing a live during the game, they're probably not going to be that interested in it. A, because TV rights, you can't show the game, but also they're watching the game on TV, so they might be more interested in a half time. But at the same time, they're watching the TV, they're going for the cup of tea, they're they're watching the pundits and what they have to say. So actually think about the type of content that your consumer will actually consume. So I know so many people are like, oh, lives and lives. And now we've got Instagram TV as well. And the first expert that sells a course for £99 needs like barring from Instagram forever. But actually weigh it up and see how you can use it effectively to your brand. And I see so many people like using Facebook Live, for example, but using it badly. I saw someone the other day and they'd like gone on and on and on about doing these Facebook Lives, and then the time they chose to do it was the same time as the England game was kicking off, and I'm like, what's the point? Like, your viewers straight away are going to be down. And actually I watched the replay of that video, and the person, it just wasn't live. They weren't able to do a live. They were struggling for the words, and they weren't really over prepared. And a lot of it, there was a lot of umming and ahhing and going, oh, I'll just wait for a few more people to join. Girl, I ain't got 15 minutes to waste waiting for other people to join because you've built this live stream broadcast at completely the wrong time. So that's also important, is look at the time that your content's going out. So remember the halftime cup of tea example? Half-time cup of tea. But also, if you are planning on doing lives, say for example if your target market is mums, then don't be doing a live at like 7 o'clock at night because it's bedtime, it's bath time. You've got to think about the times that's relevant. Putting out lives during the day, well, are your audience at work? Can they consume a live? Because if you want to get a good live audience, you have to have your audience relying on that notification. They get a notification, oh, someone's live, I'm going to tune into it. But is it at the right time for your audience to tune in live? I bet if you examined what you're doing, it's probably not. And then the last thing to consider when you're actually putting your content together is it too much about you? And this is like a huge, this really should have been in like the social media mistakes video that I made a few weeks ago. But actually so many people get on, like they make a video and they just talk about themselves. Oh, hi, I'm Sam Martin. I do this, I do this, I do social media, I do marketing, I do PR, I do whatever. Like, yeah, and it's, yeah, okay, it's informative, but it's not helping the viewer. It's not helping the customer. At the end of the day, they want to know what problems I can solve for them. They may watch a video, I've solved the problem, they don't need to hire me, that's cool, they've got something for free, that's absolutely great. But actually think about it, your content isn't about you. In fact, none of your social media should be about you. It's about your customer, it's about your potential customer, what you can do for them, the problems you can solve for them, and actually getting them to know, like, and trust you. And on that note, I do have a written blog post coming up in a few days' time that's actually about nailing your niche. So you know exactly who your target market's going to be, so make sure you subscribe and know when that will be out. Thank you for watching My Drop Monday this week, and I hope you've learned something. Please give this video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Don't forget to subscribe and go follow all my other social media channels so you can see all my other content that goes out on a daily basis, and I will speak to you again soon.